What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back. And from hot new hip hop, there's a little bit of rap producer beef brewing apparently. Hit Boy calls out Metro Boomin, Hitmaka, Mustard, and Southside. How you got no credits without co-producers? Hit Boy responds after Hitmaka calls him out. So Hitmaka, as I understand it, used to be called Young Berg, or he was Young Berg as a rapper, but Hitmaka as a producer or something like that. Now, Young Berg, I always thought was incredibly corny, but apparently he's got loads of radio hits, which doesn't really make you a better producer. But that's what he's saying. He's saying he is better than Hit Boy. I guess the rift stems from their similar names. And for the record, I think rappers with similar names should also beef it out until one of them is thrown out of the industry, like Lil Baby and Da Baby. But that's a different story. Apparently they get along, I think. Anyhow, Hit Boy has called out Southside, Metro Boomin, who are, of course, hugely responsible for the trap sound that we are still living through right now. You can't get away from it. Future, 21 Savage, Amigos, all those people, Southside, Metro. And I think also Hit Boy has gone on record saying that Kanye West once told him not to tag his records. Of course, that might have backfired because all of the biggest producers today have their little, if Young Metro don't trust you, their little producer tags. And he never did that under the advice or from the advice of Kanye West. So maybe he's a little bit bitter that he doesn't have so many radio hits, but Young Berg, or Hitmaka as it were, believes he is better. Now, maybe more successful, arguably, but as far as I'm concerned, producing Sicko Mode, which I don't really like, but Niggas in Paris more notably, a huge record. That's really all you need. So you can litter the radio with awful garbage songs. That doesn't make you more talented than the man who made Niggas in Paris. Who was in Paris? Remember that? When Jay-Z and Kanye West were touring around the world playing that song 10, 12 times a night? That should be enough. That's actually better, in my humble opinion, than littering the radio with awful songs. But they say a feud is brewing in the producer world after Hitmaka called out Hit Boy. Hitmaka felt like Hit Boy can't see him because he had more success than the producer behind Sicko Mode, Niggas in Paris, and Nas's King's Disease series. I'm on the radio. Hit Boy not on the radio, Hitmaka said before stating that he has nothing but love for Hit. If you play the soundtrack to your life for the past 4 or 5 years on the radio, I know it's got to be frustrating with him. My name sounds so familiar, my brother. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know the tracks except for Niggas in Paris by Hit Boy. I don't know any song. I can't name any songs. I shouldn't say I don't know, because I'm sure I've heard dozens upon dozens of songs produced by Hitmaka and I just didn't know, right? So maybe it's a branding thing. Who knows? It continues. Though Hit Boy is a legend in his own right, Hitmaka undoubtedly has a strong discography with several singles that have been in rotation over the past few years. With his upcoming project with Jim Jones. Why is Jim Jones even still rapping, bro? Like, hang it up. Like, you don't have to do this anymore. On the way, back in my prime, yeah, of course, like, because he's aging, so he's trying to get back in his prime, and that's why he's dropping this album with Hitmaka. The momentum is already high for Hitmaka right now, especially as he tries to compete against Hit Boy. Last week, Chloe, don't know who that is, dropped her latest single from her forthcoming album, How Does It Feel, featuring Chris Brown, his first major placement of the year. However, Hitmaka also has an album on the way, which will likely have the radio on smash again. I don't know who Chloe is. I do know who Jim Jones is because he's been a rapper since 2002. Evidently, Hit Boy took Hitmaka's comments to heart and fired back on wax. Rory Farrell of Rory and Mal fame, don't know them, shared a video of Hit previewing a new track in the studio where he calls out his contemporaries, while questioning their credentials as producers. On the song, Hit Boy doesn't hold back his feelings about Metro Boomin, Southside, Mustard, and of course Hitmaka. I'm usually homeboys with producers I get compared to, but on this one I want to stretch out extra leg room, he raps on the song. So he's taking shots at everybody, and that's fine, right? I think, it sounds like a little friendly competition. I don't think there's any big deal. But it is kind of weird that, Metro, as popular as he is with Future and Drake and The Weeknd and all that stuff, it does all sound the same, right? And he does put the tag on it so it's his. So that's a marketing thing, and maybe he's a little bit better at that. I don't know too much about Hitmaka. I don't know what his tag sounds like. But it goes without saying, Hit Boy worked on Watch the Throne pretty heavily, and that's really enough. Look, you're lucky, and I don't know how long. I mean, Young Berg, I remember since I was young, but he was Young Berg then. I didn't know him as Hitmaker. So this is a little bit confusing, this weird rap producer beef, but it does sound like it's just a little friendly competition. Hopefully they don't take it to the streets. You know, like, I don't know, Young Chop versus 21 Savage. I don't know if anybody remembers that story from a couple years ago when Chief Keef's most notable producer, who made I Don't Like, you know, more than a decade ago, was literally out in the streets searching for 21 Savage for some odd reason, but that's a different story. From there, Hit Boy calls out Metro, claiming he never heard him do boom bap. Then he slides Southside for a signature use of 808s before taking aim at Mustard. However, the most scathing bars Hit Boy dished were towards Hitmaka. I just seen Young Berg smoke on the wave. I should do him like Trick and snatch Hit out his name. Okay, whatever. I can't read the rap and make it sound like he makes it sound. But I think there is a point to be made for Metro Boomin, Southside, and Mustard. I mean, Mustard, you knew a Mustard beat when you heard it. It's a little bit tougher to tell a Metro beat, but they have the tags on it, so you know, right? So I don't know what other kind of quote-unquote boom bap that Hit Boy is making. Maybe he wants to make it seem like he's more versatile and he's more in touch with actual rap music instead of just this repetitive trap sound, which I don't know. But it is a little strange, this rap producer hip hop beef, which is rare, right? We always hear about rappers beefing with each other, of course, snitching to the feds. And no shade, like I don't, right? I don't live that life, so Gunna can do all the snitching he wants. But if he thinks for one second he's going back to YSL, he's got another thing coming, and that too is a different story. But we got a little rap producer hip hop beef. Maybe this will spur some competition, and they all won't continue to sound like the same garbage, I should say, if anybody's still listening to this genre, right? I mean, I haven't listened to anything outside of Kanye West and maybe Little Dragon. Shout out Little Dragon, which is not in the hip-hop realm at all. But I digress. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and, of course, subscribe.